You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Okay, so we are continuing talking about the ketogenic diet and the importance of fats for hormone health, especially for when it comes to skin health. There's no aspect of nutrition more important than the fatty nutrients when it comes to the health of the skin. And I'm telling you, this is somebody who's been in the business now for 30 years, in the skin business for 30 years. I actually first learned about nutrition and first got an appreciation of nutrition when I started to see its relevance for helping people heal from eczema and psoriasis and acne. I noticed that when I started to dispense or started to recommend things like essential fatty acids and vitamin A and zinc for people's skin health issues, that their blood pressure would drop and they would lose weight and they would start to wean themselves off their medication. That's where I first started to notice that there was this important connection between not just nutrition in the skin, but between nutrition and the entire health, the health of the entire body. When it comes to the skin, though, there's no aspect of nutrition more important than the fatty nutrients. Americans spend billions, tens of billions probably, of dollars on moisturizing products, and dry skin affects almost everyone to one degree or another. But dry skin is rarely a topical issue. Human skin is designed to be naturally soft and hydrated, just like a baby's skin. But this is a function of fats. This is a function of fatty intake as well as fat absorption, particularly when it comes to EFAs and vitamin A. Between our fat phobia, our fear of fat that's promoted by the medical model, and fat absorption issues, which typically develop as we get older, sometimes not so much older, sometimes younger folks have fat malabsorption issues. Between fat malabsorption and a lack of intake of fatty vitamins and essential fatty acids, xerosis, which is the technical medical term for dry skin, xerosis, Xerosis, xerosis is inevitable. This is the major reason why we have such a crisis of dry skin, such a problem. It's not really a crisis, I suppose, but such an ubiquitous health challenge of xerosis, fat phobia, and a lack of fat intake and fat malabsorption. Just as significantly, when it comes to lack of intake of fats, is the skin and the skin cells' predisposition to instability. It's not just dry skin that's a problem when you have a lack of fats or fat malabsorption. It's also instability in the skin cell, and that leads to sensitivities and dermatitises and sun damage. All of this can be induced by a problem with fats, fat malabsorption, or lack of intake. Fat-deprived skin, and that includes fatty vitamins, and by the way, it also includes minerals. Zinc in particular, and also selenium, require a healthy fat absorption system. So when you're depriving yourself of fats or you have fat malabsorption issues, you're going to be prone to all kinds of skin problems, from EFA deficiencies as well as vitamin deficiencies as well as mineral deficiencies. And we're talking here wrinkling and accelerated aging and dark spots and sun damage and skin dryness. And your skincare professional, as nice as they may be, and your dermatologist, as nice as he may be, isn't going to tell you this. First of all, they probably don't know unless they're listening to this program. And secondly, because there's a lot of money to be made in selling skincare products. Skincare companies are especially culpable. Skincare companies reap tremendous profits from selling us basically expensive water. Your typical skin moisturizing cream or skin moisturizing lotion is going to be 80 to 90% water. Cream is a little bit less water. That's the difference between a cream and a lotion. Cream has less water. Creams are typically around 60 to 70% water. A lotion is 80 to 90% water. That's a lot of water, folks. If you're spending, say, $20 or $30 or $40 for a jar of cream or a bottle of lotion, you're paying a lot of money for water, for not much water either. If you have 100 grams, say, typical body lotion, say 100 grams, that's a little less than 4 ounces, right? And if you're talking 90% water, you're talking 90 of that 100 grams is water. That's a few tablespoons full of water for 30 or 20 or 30 bucks or more. And when you factor in that the rest of the product is oil and wax and preservatives and fragrances, this is crazy. You can see why some of the biggest companies on the planet, after the food companies and after the drug companies, other profit-intensive companies, some of the biggest companies in the world are your skincare companies. And don't be fooled by the French name, by the way. Aveeno, or don't be fooled by the oatmeal that's in your product. Aveeno, by the way, is the #1 best-selling moisturizing lotion. And it's no coincidence that the food companies and the drug companies and the cosmetic companies are the biggest companies in the world, because they all grew up together at the beginning of the 20th century when marketers were developing their mind control techniques for getting the public to do things. This is when it all started, or beginning of the 20th century, late 19th century, as Sigmund Freud's philosophies and theories kicked in. When we start to understand motivation, we started to understand what drove people's behavior. It was a short jump to getting people to buy things. We've talked about this in the past. This is all mind control, folks, and it doesn't help our skin. It doesn't help our health, and it's not fair. With rare exceptions, dry skin, aging skin, damaged skin, and pretty much all skin problems are biochemical internal issues. They are signs of poor health. And there are signs of really horrible things to come. If you got dry skin and you have that's being caused by some kind of biochemical breakdown, it means you are going to be more prone to other health challenges later on. This is a health issue. Dry skin is not cosmetic, folks. It's health. And it's not topical. And you're not going to hear this from your skincare companies, because there's a lot of profit to be made. And the manufacturers and the bookkeepers and the marketers and the bankers and, unfortunately, the doctors and the skincare professionals that are selling these products, they don't want you to know. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. The ketogenic diet is the most skin-friendly way to eat, bar none. It's a fat diet, a high-fat diet, as you know if you've been listening to this program. It's a high-fat diet. If you got dry skin, the ketogenic diet, the high fats of the ketogenic diet are going to be very, very helpful. The skin is an organ of the body, and like all organs of the body, it depends on nutrition. It depends on nutrients for its health or lack thereof. You can have anti-nutrients that can destroy skin health. The skin makes its own moisture factors, but those moisture factors depend on what we eat, especially fats, and this is where the ketogenic diet comes from. The ketogenic diet is hands down the ultimate skin health diet. It's a skin anti-aging diet. It's a skin anti-wrinkle diet. It's a skin anti-acne diet, and it's an anti-inflammatory diet. When you think fats, when you think the ketogenic diet, you want to think veggies. Now, this is somewhat counterintuitive because veggies don't really look fatty, but they are. And we said this so many times on this program. There are fatty components in cucumbers, in celery, which ordinarily, to the uninitiated, if you just look at a stick of celery, it doesn't look like there's much fat in there, but there is. Veggies should form the bulk of our caloric intake, whether we're trying to go ketogenic or not, by the way. Whether we're trying to generate ketones or not, veggies are absolutely the most critical food segment of the food pyramid or the food plate or whatever they call it now that we can eat. They're absolutely critical, especially when it comes to the skin. With some notable exceptions, and there are some, and with some things that you have to take into account, allergens, lectins, plant toxins, you got to account for these things. But once you account for these things, veggies are the ultimate and perfect ketogenic food, after fats, of course. There's so many reasons to eat veggies if you're going ketogenic. The biggest knock on veggies is their taste. The veggies have a bitter taste, and that's because of all the medicinal power they have, all the healing substances they contain, the phytonutrients. This is where we need to be a little strategic and a little clever. The nature of medicine, the nature of nutrition, the nature of nutrients, for the most part, is bitter, not sweet. And this is an important point because human beings crave sweet. This is why we tend to gravitate away from vegetables. But there's ways that we can improve the palatability of veggies. For one thing, there are natural sugars in veggies that you can release. Steaming and braising release sugars. And this is a great strategy. And if you mix them up with fats and spices and salt and pepper, you can really amp up the nutritional power of a vegetable, especially the fat. Butter and coconut oil. Butter and coconut oil go hand in hand with vegetables. This is where the ketogenic high-fat diet and veggies together really shines because of the nutritional value that's locked up in the vegetables, the fatty nutrients that are locked up in the vegetables. If you braise your veggies, and when I say braise, I mean quickly cook them over high heat, quickly, because you don't want to burn them. and you do it with vegetable oil, you are going to release the phytonutrients. And same thing goes for steaming. Veggies have a fatty nature. Most of the fatty nature in a veggie is going to be located, well, I shouldn't say that. Most of the veggie nature in a fruit, or most of the fatty nature in a fruit is going to be located in the peel. In a vegetable, it's scattered. In a fruit, it's in the peel. And when I say fruits, I'm also talking fruit/vegetables like tomatoes and cucumbers for that matter. Anything that has a seed in it is technically going to be a fruit. So cucumbers and tomatoes and squash, these are all technically fruits. And the good stuff is, for the most part, there is some in the pulp, especially in the colored pulps like tomatoes and squash, but for the most part it's going to be in your peel. That's why the peels are bitter. Bitter means medicine, basically. In a veggie, all the bitter stuff, all the medicinal stuff is going to be spread throughout the vegetable. And they're going to be locked up. And that's why you want to use some heat and steaming, although raw vegetables certainly have some advantages. If you have fat malabsorption issues, this becomes super important. If you had a gallbladder removed, this becomes super important. Crohn's disease, celiac disease, all of these kinds of health issues are going to compromise your ability to get phytonutrients out of veggies. It means your skin's going to age faster. Women have a big problem with this when they get older. Women tend not to absorb their fats as well when they get older. And this, of course, is exacerbated if there's liver issues or if there's gallbladder issues or intestinal issues. As women approach menopause, typically they're not going to absorb fats. And this is why, this is what accounts for the skin problems that women will confront as they get older. This is why women start to spend all this money on skin products, a lot of money. And people selling the products don't know any better. It's not like they're evil. It's not like these skincare companies are evil necessarily. Certainly estheticians aren't, and dermatologists aren't, and skincare professionals in general, they just don't know. So you're out there, ladies, you're out there buying all this, spending all this money on wrinkle creams and spending all this money on moisturizing creams, and you know that as you're getting older, your skin is not looking as good, and you know as you get older, your skin is drier, and you know as you get older, you're more prone to sun damage. It's not a topical problem. It's a digestive problem largely, and an intake problem as well. So for women, it becomes super important to eat veggies and to loosen up those fats. And by loosen up those fats, I'm talking about using a little bit of heat. Also grinding, by the way, can loosen up the fats. The carotenoids and the flavonoids, these are tremendously protective against sun damage. And the best anti-wrinkle strategy you can use. Even my retinol 5% gel, which is an awesome product, isn't as important as making sure that you're getting those nutrients out of the veggies. And as I said yesterday or the day before, in the coming years you can expect to see vegetable-based topical products. And you can actually make your own vegetable-based topical products. Just blend your veggies up in coconut oil and apply them to your skin. You're not going to, the coconut oil gives you a little softening. It's not necessarily going to moisturize your skin, truly moisturize your skin, but it'll give you a little bit of softening. But the veggies are very protective. And veggie drinks are also amazing, powerful ways to access the fatty nutrients. And they can be pretty darn tasty, too. Combinations of veggies, tomatoes and cucumbers and celeries, come up with your own recipes, your own combinations. Personally, I like to balance out the sort of bitter taste that celery can have and kale can have with the somewhat sweet taste that cucumbers and tomatoes can have. The combination of the acid from the tomatoes can balance out the alkaline from the spinach and from the celery. Celery is probably the most important for a lot of reasons. Celery is just a tremendous source of fiber and also a great source of nitrates for the digestive system. So I'm very fond of celery. And when you blend your veggies, when you spin your veggies in a vortex, you actually amp up the electrical energy. When fluids are combined with electrical substances like potassium and magnesium and chloride, these electrolytes, when fluids are combined with these substances and then spun around in a vortex, you get an electrical current. You're drinking electrical energy. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. On our next Bright Side episode, we'll talk about some strategies. Well, we'll continue talking about veggies, first of all, and ways that you can, I'll talk about veggie smoothies and veggie drinks. And then I want to talk about some supplements that you should be using if you are going to go ketogenic. And I also want to talk about a really interesting way to go ketogenic without going ketogenic. That's interesting. A way to generate ketones without necessarily eating ketogenically. There's actually supplements that you can use. We'll talk about that on our next Brightside episode. 844-236-6010 is our number from the Journal of Neuroscience. Reducing a person's calorie intake can protect against the development of Parkinson's disease. Oh my goodness. Where have you heard that before? You mean you can eat less food and it will affect Parkinson's disease? You mean Parkinson's disease is affected by eating too much food? Oh my gosh. These brilliant doctors. I wonder if they've been listening to the bright side. We've been talking about this forever. Parkinson's disease is unnecessary, people. All neurodegenerative disease is gratuitous and unnecessary and largely related to how we eat. The good news is you can reverse these things by making sure you're eating correctly and eating less and eating ketogenically. This is from the Journal of Neuroscience. According to a guy named Dr. Andrews, it turns out that hunger hormones, the secretion of hunger hormones are actually protective against neurodegenerative diseases. This is so important, you guys, because this is where we control our disease process without doctors and without the medical model. Something as simple and as easy and as inexpensive as caloric restriction can protect you against afford you protection from Alzheimer's disease, Bell's palsy, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, and other neurodegenerative diseases. Journal of Neuroscience just came out today, or came out yesterday. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to Robert in Ontario. How you doing, buddy? Sorry we left you on hold yesterday. How's it going, man?
I was wondering if you had any help for carpal tunnel.
Yes, carpal tunnel is an inflammatory condition of the hand, and it's associated with repetitive movements. But whenever you hear inflammation, you want to think fats, EFAs, essential fatty acids. These are the molecules of inflammation. So get yourself on the ultimate EFAs. Take 9 a day, 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 3 at night. Make sure you're absorbing your fats. That means using ultimate enzymes with your meals. You can also get extra bile salts. We'll talk about bile, by the way, on our next Brightside episode, because the ketogenic diet is related to bile. You need to make sure your body is producing enough bile, and clean bile for that matter. Also, the Healthy Start Pack can be important, particularly the B vitamins in the Healthy Start Pack, extra particularly vitamin B6 for carpal tunnel syndrome. But really, all the B vitamins are going to be important. The mineral magnesium can be important for all inflammatory issues. Make sure you're using your Beyond OsteoFX. And don't underestimate the importance and the relationship of probiotics, good bacteria, when it comes to inflammatory health issues. What carpal tunnel syndrome, what you can't do with carpal tunnel syndrome is treat it medically. There's nothing they could do medically except for give you drugs, anti-inflammatory drugs typically, which will wreak havoc on your digestive system and your cardiovascular system. So there's nothing your doctor can do for you, my friend, but you can handle this yourself. Ultimate EFAs, essential fatty acids, magnesium, all the B vitamins, and that means your Healthy Start Pack, and I would be throwing in the Biolumin Nightly Essence. Make sure you're getting your probiotics, as well as bile salts and your ultimate enzymes as well. And also caloric restriction. Another major anti-inflammatory strategy is caloric restriction, restricting your calories. Calories are heat and inflammation go hand in hand. So making sure that you're restricting your calories, and of course, if you're eating pro-inflammatory foods, you need to work on that as well. Sugar is the most important pro-inflammatory food, and then also processed foods have pro-inflammatory properties too. So processed foods are probably things that you want to avoid as well. You will find, though, when you start to change the way you eat, and especially around caloric restriction, restricting your calories, you'll find that all inflammatory symptoms, particularly carpal tunnel symptoms, will improve. Okay, my friend?
Tingling in your hands?
Yes, that's the same idea. Now, if you start to have tingling in your hands, it might not necessarily be carpal tunnel syndrome. It might be related to blood sugar, again, an inflammatory issue. That's called neuropathy. It happens in the fingers and the toes and the hands and the feet, and it's very common in diabetics. But again, and I don't know how long you've been listening to the program, Robert. Oh, you're a diabetic too?
I'm not. No.
Oh, you're not a diabetic. Well, you don't know that you're not a diabetic. You just have not been...
So.
Yeah, that's right. That's different. You know what? That's different, Robert. Just because they tell you they're going by numbers. When they diagnose diabetes, they're going by numbers. You're not a number, Robert. You're not a statistics. You're a human. So you can't compare a number, you can't assess the symptoms in a human by looking at numbers, by looking at reference values. See, what doctors do is they take your blood out, they look at the sugar, and then they go to their little book and they go, let's see what this little book says about the number that Robert has in his blood. Oh, he's not a diabetic. Oh, he is a diabetic. You're not a book and you're not a number. You're a human. If you got neuropathy, you probably have messed up blood sugar. Now, I don't know that you have neuropathy, but it sounds like you might. Neuropathy means nerve.
Fingers.
Yeah,
only
neuropathy.
My fingers.
Say again?
It's only my fingers.
Well, that's still it's
Not
only
my
your fingers. Did you have it when you were a teenager? Did you have it? Did you have it when you were a baby? Did you have it when you were a baby?
After 75.
No. You're 75?
75.
Well, that sounds awesome. If that's the only problem you have, you're doing pretty good. But my point is this is a sign of degeneration. The body's breaking down, and it follows inflammation, and it also follows sugar. It's very difficult. It's almost impossible to have neuropathy and inflammation in the nerves. It's not mechanical, like you didn't get into an accident. It's very difficult to have neuropathy without having messed up blood sugar. And by the way, it's very difficult to be living on the standard American or standard Canadian diet, for that matter, and be 75 years old and not have messed up blood sugar, unless you've been super conscious about how you ate your whole life and taking care of yourself and knowing exactly what to do. And most of us don't. And I'm not being mean to you. I'm not beating you up here, Robert. I'm just telling you this is where you want to work. And I don't know how long you've been listening to this program, but you always want to backtrack to what I call the triangle of disease, and blood sugar is the second point on the triangle of disease. Food, blood sugar, and then you probably want to start to implement some of the relaxation techniques that we talk about on this program all the time. Deep breathing, meditation, hot water, showers, hot baths, etc. Lots of ways that you can activate the parasympathetic relaxation nervous system. Stretching can also help with carpal tunnel syndrome. All right, Robert, I'm going to motivate. Thank you so much. You have something else you want?
From meat?
Say again?
Should the fat from meat be eaten or not?
It's not great. There's worse things for you. The problem with the fat from meat is not so much the fat as the heat, the high heat from cooking the meat. It's not there's worse things for you, though. That's not the end of the world. What you want to look for are foods that cause specifically you, digestive health problems, bloating, gas, that kind of thing, loose stools or constipation, etc. All right, I got to go. Thank you so much, Robert. God bless you, my friend. All right, David in Texas, what's cooking? Oh, we got a commercial, David. Is this my friend David?
That's me, Ben. I'll hang in here, buddy.
All right, good. Good to hang on. Good to hear your voice, David. All right, if you're on hold, hang on. From the PLOS One, the journal PLOS One, the Public Library of Science. Link between gum disease and cognitive decline in Alzheimer's. Apparently, gum disease is more common in people with Alzheimer's disease. Now, why would that be? Well, Alzheimer's disease is a degenerative disease. It's a disease where the body just breaks down. It's not a special disease. It's not some kind of specific brain health issue. It's just a rotting of the brain, the way the joints rot and the way the organs rot and the way the bones rot as we get older. And I know that sounds gross, but that's really what's happening. So it makes perfect sense that gum disease will be linked to Alzheimer's disease. This is the way we want to look at health, because this simplifies everything, folks. When we understand that degenerative disease is just nothing more than the body breaking down, it's not a special issue that's specific to organs and structures in the body, we will be able to handle our health issues ourselves, and there won't be any need for specialists or doctors. And there'll be a lot of unemployed specialists, because there's no special diseases when it comes to degenerative health issues. This is from yesterday. Link between gum disease and cognitive decline in Alzheimer's disease. If you listen to this program on a regular basis, you're going to be way ahead of the curve, folks. And when you read studies like this, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I heard that before. Here's another one. Study shows gut microbes, probiotics, influence platelet function. That is the little cell pieces. They're not really cells, but little substances that are involved in clotting. In other words, gut microbes affect blood clotting. Again, where have you heard this before? Dirty blood. That's what it's all about. Dirty blood. Clean the blood. And this is such good news. If you are sick, if you're dealing with a degenerative health crisis, this is such good news, because it means that we can take our health and put it back into our own laps. We can handle it ourselves. Who handles our gut microbes? Is there any drugs for your gut microbes? No, but we do it. through the foods we eat, the supplements we take, the foods we eat, and the foods we eat and the foods we don't eat, and the supplements we take. Okay, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go back to Texas and talk to David. Hey, buddy, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing great, Ben. I've got a question for you regarding bread.
Yes.
I try to avoid, most breads, pastas, rice, and all that kind of stuff.
Good. You're Graves' disease, David?
That's
right?
Me. You got me through my Graves' disease. I had extremely bad symptoms, and I was looking at radiation and poison or medicine, if you want to call it that.
I'm so glad you listened. I'm so glad you heard this. That's awesome, man.
I'm healthier than I have ever been, thanks to you. Yeah, it didn't happen overnight. It was a long road, but I'm there, and thank goodness I came across you again. But I do have a question regarding the breads. So I do like sandwiches. I like to eat a little bread. I don't eat a whole lot. So now when I do eat bread, I only eat Ezekiel bread.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if there is any benefit to eating Ezekiel bread.
That's better than regular bread, certainly. And you don't have to go zero tolerance on these things. You don't want to be, you don't want to be a fanatic necessarily. Not that there's anything wrong when it comes to if you want to go zero tolerance with things. There's nothing wrong with that. But kind of just see how you feel after you do certain foods. For example, after you eat the Ezekiel bread, are you tired? If you're not, then you're good. Tired is a sign of blood sugar problems. Now, there's still gluten in Ezekiel bread, I'm pretty sure. It's not completely sprouted, and there's still going to be some anti-nutrients in there, but it's certainly better than regular bread, that's for sure. So just see how you feel. See how you do. Don't eat a whole loaf of it. Have a slice of it. See what happens. If you like it with, you like to have your sandwiches, cut the Ezekiel bread really thin. Make a thin sandwich and enjoy it. You want to enjoy your life, but if you notice that your thyroid starts acting up, then you got to, take the appropriate measures. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. And I have another quick question, if you have time. I know there's people waiting with serious illnesses. So I'm doing everything you're saying. I juice every morning, and I have a Vitamix, and I also have an Omega juicer. Kind of wondering, is one better than the other?
I don't know what the trick is. You want to keep the fiber. That's where the Vitamix excels. Is it grinds the juice up and keeps the fiber and makes it palatable. Some of the juicers that don't grind the fiber up enough, it's kind of it's not a juice really. It's more a thick substance. And I personally like it more juicy. That's why I love my Vitamix. I don't know what the Omega juicer is, so I can't speak to that.
Yeah.
And
I've never out all of the fiber from my juicer when I'm done with my Omega juicer. So. I'm thinking that's not such a great idea.
Do you lose the fiber with the Omega juicer?
I do, yeah. It all sticks to the inside.
Yeah, that's not as good. Now, if you do have a juicer where you lose the fiber, save the fiber and cook with it, or put it in soups or something. You can always. The fiber is good medicine, and we're going to talk about fiber in the next program, on our next episode. But fiber is awesome medicine. And when you're drinking a juice, it's just tragic to lose the fiber, which is why I'm a big believer in the Vitamix. And now I understand, although I haven't seen it personally, the NutriBullet does save the fiber too, from what I hear. But you want that fiber in the juice. It's wonderfully medicinal.
Very good.
And filling.
Thanks so much, Ben. I'll let you
Take care, man.
The callers with the illness.
Thanks, David, man. Take care. Take care. And by the way, the fiber is awesome for the ketogenic diet, and we'll talk about that on our next Bright Side episode. Sarah. Hey, Sarah, what's going on?
Hi, Pharmacist Ben. I was on opiates for 6 years, and I've recently detoxed myself off, and I'm in recovery.
Good deal.
But I've been having minor seizures and different things, and weird things happening with my brain.
After you weaned yourself off the opioids?
Yes.
It could be a rebound condition. When you wean yourself off the opioids, all of a sudden you're going to have all of this energy flowing through your body, and it could be a temporary rebound condition. What you want to do is a couple things that you want to do, and this is for everybody with seizure disorders, but especially for you. You need to really focus on relaxing your body. And there's lots of ways to do it. Hot baths are awesome. Make sure you're using a lot of hot showers and hot baths, okay? That's first of all. Second of all, meditation and Reiki and massage can also help you. Yoga and exercise can also help you. Then there's nutrition, especially the B vitamins, B for brain, the brain vitamins. Make sure you're doing high doses of B vitamins. The Beyond Tangy Tangerine is a wonderful way to get your Bs. You may want to throw in some extra B100, which you can buy in a health food store. Also, veggie juices are good sources of B vitamins too, and veggie juices are just great for everything anyway, as we were just talking about with David. There's also wonderful nutrients that can help you, fatty nutrients that can help you, MCT oils. You can get that at a health food store. Make sure you're doing coconut oil. That can also help you. Listen up. I don't know if you've been listening to the program the last week or so, but you can listen to the archives and listen to all the stuff we've been talking about. The ketogenic diet, which is a calming diet, calms the body down and also has anti-seizure properties. And then there's some really cool nutrients that are specific for seizure disorders like GABA, G-A-B-A, lithium orotate. You could buy both of those at health food stores. Magnesium also can have anti-seizure properties. You'll get that in the OsteoFX. You'll get it in green veggies. You can also supplement with maybe 1,000 or 2,000 milligrams of extra magnesium a day. Vitamin C is great for everything. 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. You'll get that in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. And I would also throw in a couple other things. And we're going to talk about one of these in particular on our next Bright Side episode, something called carnitine, which helps the body process fats. That might be helpful for you. Maybe a couple hundred milligrams of carnitine. Taurine has wonderful anti-seizure properties. That's an amino acid you could buy at a health food store. Maybe 100 to 200 milligrams of that one a day. Let's see, there's a couple more things. Vitamin E, also 400 IU a day of vitamin E. And then omega-3 fatty acids. Really all your omega-3s and omega-6s, but omega-3s are especially important for the brain. Make sure you're using your Ultimate EFAs 9 a day. If you have any digestive problems, and you probably do if you're just getting off your opioids, you're either constipated from the opioids or you got some rebound diarrhea, one or the other. Does that make sense? You follow me, Sarah? Okay. Any foods that trigger any of those digestive symptoms you want to stay away from. And then make sure you're on your probiotics. You're getting your good bacteria. Biolumin Nightly Essence, 9 a day, and then eating fermented foods can also help. There's tons of stuff, but that's a great place for you to start. I'm going to get one more call in and talk to my buddy Carl, the Truth Raider. So hang on. I got to let you go. Okay, Sarah?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. Hope we helped. Hey, Carl, you got about a minute, my friend. What's going on? What do you got to share with us today?
I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sick. I came down sick yesterday morning.
What? What's up? Is that what you called to tell me? Come on, Carl.
No, it was life hacks, but I didn't get on for a couple of days. I got really sick.
Well, you sound like crap, Carl, the Truth Raider. I hope you feel better.
I'm working on it. Maybe it's because my immune system is working so good, so it's kicking in high gear and really giving me symptoms to cure me, I guess.
Are you pulling my leg? I can't tell if you're pulling my leg.
No, I woke up yesterday morning. My throat was not sore, but it's
here's Pharmacist Ben. I got to go, Carl. But I'm gonna give you Pharmacist Ben's remedy for a cold. You always want to catch it when you start to get the cold. You might be a little too late, but when you start to catch the cold, when you start to feel a little sluggish, get on a rebounder, drink a gallon of water in one day, do a whole bunch of vitamin C, maybe 5 or 10 grams, and make sure you're getting 50 milligrams a day of zinc. Carl, the Truth Raider. God bless you. Good luck, man. I hope everything works out. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Friends, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You've been listening to The Bright Side. On our next episode, we'll continue talking the ketogenic diet, and we'll talk about some supplements that you should use if you're on the ketogenic diet. Have yourselves a beautiful, spectacular, awesome, wonderful day. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
There's a guy named Dr. Wallach who is anything but your typical doctor. Both a veterinarian and a naturopathic physician, Doc asks, why is this country spending more money on healthcare by far and ranking 50th in health and longevity worldwide? Doc believes that people should empower themselves with a basic understanding of nutrition, taking charge of their life, and attaining optimal health and longevity through nutrition, not by toxic pharmaceutical drugs that lead to side effects that require more expensive and toxic pharmaceutical drugs. Talk about being dependent on drug companies to our own destruction, no less. This is clearly a deadly recipe. Doc Wallach's message is resonating with an increasing number of Americans who are waking up to all the government and big pharma manipulation of our health and healthcare system. I like what Doc Wallach is saying and doing to enlighten people about healthcare, and I've joined forces with him to help this tireless crusader spread his message. Visit brightsideben.com and listen to Doc Wallach's deadly recipe lectures. It makes a lot of sense, and I invite you to join our Brightside Ben team. Go to brightsideben.com. That's www.brightsideben.com.
Don't know what's in your drinking water? Better get a Pro Pure. With the Pro 1 G 2.0 all-in-one filter, remove over 200 contaminants, including fluoride and lead. Taste water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of Pro Pure water filtration products. There's a Pro Pure system for you. Visit your authorized Pro Pure dealer for details on our current free shipping special or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
It's no secret that pathogens such as bacteria, viruses, molds, and fungus can inflict severe damage in the human body. Fortunately, a new and vastly improved silver solution has been developed. Supernatural Silver is a revolutionary broad-spectrum antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal solution that can be used inside the body as well as on the skin. Supernatural Silver is unique and superior to colloidal and ionic silvers, using a patented technology that is highly effective against colds, flus, infections, food poisoning, and yeast, in addition to many other pathogens. Supernatural Silver is scientifically supported, extremely safe, and is the #1 choice of thousands of people for immune system support. Find out how Supernatural Silver could change your life. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code HEALTHY for 20% off. That's supernaturalsilver.com. And like us on Facebook.
Suffering from illness or disease?
Frequently in pain?
Overstressed?
Always tired?
The solution is to oxygenate your cells because
disease cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment.
Introducing Vital Ion, the first mineralized edible oxygen in the world. Go to toolsforfreedom.com and get the Miracle of Oxygenation DVD free with any Vital Ion purchase. Call 800-770-8802. That's 800-770-8802. Let Vital Ion edible oxygen be your daily fountain of youth. Suffering from illness or disease?
Frequently in pain?
Overstressed?
Always tired?
The solution is to oxygenate your cells because
disease cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment.
Introducing Vital Ion, the first mineralized edible oxygen in the world. Go to toolsforfreedom.com and get the Miracle of Oxygenation DVD free with any Vital Ion purchase. Call 800-770-8802. That's 800-770-8802. Let Vital Ion edible oxygen be your daily fountain of youth.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Hey, I rode the elevator with you, but I don't work on the upper floors. I just want to squeeze in there right next to you, so the RFID scanner in my pocket can capture all your personal information, your debit and credit cards, even your work ID badge. So your identity is now my identity. Going up, so am I.
For over 10 years, ID Stronghold has pioneered RFID blocking wallets and ID badge holders for consumers, the U.S. military, and even the Executive Office of the President. Shouldn't you be protected too? ID Stronghold wallets cost about the same as wallets in most stores, but give you extra protection.
I'm Walt Augustinowicz, founder and CEO of ID Stronghold. Don't be a victim of electronic pickpocketing. Protect yourself from crimes you can't see with ID Stronghold wallets, card sleeves, and purses.
Visit idstronghold.com and get the original RFID blocking wallets and badge holders. idstronghold.com.
Nowadays, there are millions of people with old smartphones, iPads, tablets, you name it, just sitting around collecting dust. And if those are improperly disposed of, well, they contain unsafe toxic materials harmful to you and the environment. But now, these devices can be used as a painless way to help support your favorite GCN shows. Visit DonateMyCell.com. Donations are tax deductible, and if you donate 10 or more devices, you'll receive a special free gift offer. That's DonateMyCell.com. DonateMyCell.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Suffering from illness or disease?
Frequently in pain?
Overstressed?
Always tired?
The solution is to oxygenate your cells because
disease cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment.
Introducing Vital Ion, the first mineralized edible oxygen in the world. Go to toolsforfreedom.com and get the Miracle of Oxygenation DVD free with any Vital Ion purchase. Call 800-770-8802. That's 800-770-8802. Let Vital Ion edible oxygen be your daily fountain of youth.
The
Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Many scientific studies have linked inflammation in the human body to several common health challenges suffered by Americans every day.
This idea about essential fatty acids getting turned into inflammatory or non-inflammatory chemicals. If you're dealing with an inflammatory issue like arthritis, and many diseases and many immune conditions have inflammatory components. If you have any inflammatory issues, essential fatty acids are maybe the most important nutritional supplements you could use. If you have fat absorption problems, you're going to want to take your EFAs with digestive enzymes, with fatty meals. It can also help improve your ability to process and absorb these super mega important nutritional compounds, essential fatty acids.
To keep inflammation at a minimum in your body, do what Ben Fuchs does and order Ultimate EFAs and Ultimate EFA Plus from Longevity by calling 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470. Or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com. Order today.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists, get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.